everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me once again is my Forbes colleague, staff writer Zach Everson. Zach, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me back. Glad you haven't tired of delving into the world of Trump crypto.
Zach, we are diving back into the crypto world and how it relates to the Trump family. We're talking about a company you and I have spoken about before. It's Alt5 Sigma. It's a fintech company that struck $1 billion deal with World Liberty Financial, the crypto venture associated with the Trump family. I want to talk about a shakeup right now. It is affecting the CEO of Alt5 Sigma. What exactly happened?
Yeah, Alt5 Sigma suspended its CEO, Peter Tasiopoulos, on October 16th, disclosing that in an SEC filing 6 days later. So no reason was given whatsoever for why they made this change. I reached out to the company. Nobody responded back to me on that one. There was nothing in the SEC filing. I didn't see any evidence from any other sort of public statements there either. So we're kind of left in the lurch as to why they made this move.
So we don't really know why they made this move, but let's take a few steps back here. What do we know about the history, the origin story of Alt5 Sigma?
It started off as an appliance recycling company, which is, probably where most crypto companies start off at these days. So it had gone through a whole bunch of different iterations until it ended up as Alt5 Sigma. It was known at one point as Appliance Recycling Centers of America, then became Gen 1, and then it acquired a company called Alt5 Sigma Inc., and it took that name.
And how was the company doing before and after this staff shakeup here? Is there a reason to look at that as to possibly why the CEO was suspended?
Again, pure speculation. They didn't give any sort of reason, but looking at the dates, so the big move here is that Alt5 Sigma really tied its life to World Liberty Financial when it decided to acquire this Bitcoin treasury that this World Liberty token treasury that we talked about earlier. Now, World Liberty Financial is the crypto venture that Donald Trump and his three sons co-founded, and they issue two products. One of them is USD1, which is a stable coin we've talked about before, and that's backed by reserves in US government holdings. So that's actually something is behind that currency. Whereas the other product they have is the World Liberty Financial Token. This token does not imply ownership of anything. There's nothing backing it up. All it means is that by owning the token, you get to vote in new rules regarding the protocol. So what Alt5 Sigma did a few months back was it decided it was going to build a treasury of this token. Again, the token that has nothing backing it up other than getting to vote in issues regarding the token. So they went ahead and they sold some stock, they sold some bonds, I believe, and they used this money to buy the token. Now, the interesting thing is they've acquired about $1.5 billion worth of the token, according to the way it was priced, but yet the stock market only values this company at about $225 million. So that's telling you that the market does not think this token is worth that much at all. And that's also, you're seeing that not just in the stock price there, where it is down about 74% since when the deal was announced. It was about $8.42 when that was announced. It was trading at around $2.17 a couple days ago when I last looked at it. So it has not turned out well so far for Alt5 Sigma.
And if it hasn't turned out well so far for Alt5 Sigma, I mean, that can't be good, right? Because you said that they bet everything essentially on crypto. They didn't start as a crypto company. Now they are all in on that. I mean, why make the 180?
You'd have to ask them. And I would speculate that the thought is it's affiliated with the Trumps. Crypto's hot. People might buy this. I mean, I honestly don't know. I'm really at a loss for this digital token. Like, I get stable coins. Doesn't mean I'm actually going to use it or I would recommend people use it, but I get it. Like, it's actually backed by something. Likewise with Bitcoin, there is demand for that. There's demand for Ether. There's demand for a lot of these things. But when you start looking at things like this token or the Trump meme coin, which is separate product, but there's nothing backing those up, it is purely speculation right there. And that is what this company seems to have jumped in on, is that they would, people would be interested in them because they had this big holding of the token. And other companies have similar strategies where they will acquire a Bitcoin strategy or some other crypto. MicroStrategy is probably best known for this, where they acquire a lot of Bitcoin. Bitcoin price goes up. They then sell more shares. They use that money to buy more Bitcoin. Their share price keeps going up, and it keeps going up like that. But Bitcoin is something that is in demand around the world. Whether it should be in demand, another question, but it is. Whereas the Trump World Liberty Financial Token doesn't seem to be that much demand for it. Prices dipped remarkably since it first hit the market. So, the market's just saying like, hey, acquiring a treasury of this token that only allows you to vote on issues regarding the token just isn't all that appealing.
So to that point then, what does this indicate to you about World Liberty Financial?
There's a place for the products that it's putting out, at least in terms of USD1. And I get the whole decentralized finance thing. There's been talk about using systems like that for, say, co-op boards or condo associations, where each owner of the real estate unit would then be entitled to some of this crypto token that would allow them to vote. It would be an easier way to vote and have that all automated. When you sell your condo or you're part of a co-op, the crypto component of that would go to the new owner. That's kind of the use case for tokens that I understand and does make sense in a way. Now, again, whether it's worth it, whether it's worth the electricity, the complexity, that I can't speak to. I get the stablecoin aspect of what World Liberty Financial has out there, but in terms of why anyone would want to buy these tokens, it's something of a loss.
And so I know no one's really saying exactly much about Tassiopoulos' suspension or what's happening next here or the why behind it, but who has replaced him, and is there any indication if he will be back or if he'll be permanently replaced?
For the latter, we don't know. We'll probably find that out in a press release or another SEC filing. So those are probably the best places to take a look for that information. Jonathan Hughes, who has been the chief financial officer since August, is now holding both of those roles, where he is the acting CEO as well.
Great. Well, Zach, per usual, I appreciate you giving us this insight into the crypto world and how it's related to the Trump family. Thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure. I'm sure there'll be more to talk about soon.